Hello and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we're doing yet another episode of the Orphan Block Challenge. Yeah, and some of you are concerned that this pile is not going down. Well, what's happened is I'm still working on string blocks, and I've got some blocks that I need to make different quilts with, and there's a lot of them. So I'm needing to buy myself some time to show you what I'm working on. So, but before we get started, I want to talk to you about Thread Waggle. Now, Cathy, Angela, and Tracey, yep, Tracey, that's the right name, they're having a great time over on their channel, and they're talking about quilting and thread and all the fun stuff that goes along with this. So if you guys go check them out, tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Also, if you like these videos and what you're seeing here, share, like, and subscribe. Over half of you aren't subscribed that are watching this video, and we would really need some help. We really need you to help us out, right? So subscribe if you can. The other thing is we have you'll find in the show notes below, is not only Thread Waggle's YouTube channel, but our Facebook group and the Zoom link coordinates for the monthly sew date. Now that Zoom link is there, and with all the dates from now until December as to when we're going to be having our Zoom sewing along. Now those Zoom dates are about what you are inspired with, not what I'm doing. Okay, so bring a friend if you want, share, like, it's all good. So come on in, let's get to the sewing for this tote bag that we're working on. Okay, we're going to make a tote bag. Now, I cut my straps 3 inches, you know, like with the fabric, just because I had some fun prints, and I'm just going to put the straps over here. I had some fun prints to work with. I thought these would be cute, you know. My daughter is running a plant business, so this is kind of a prototype for her to look at to see whether or not she likes this idea or not. And I just use scrap batting, right? So this is not a big thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take 2 Orphan block. These are potato chip blocks. These are one of those fun blocks that you can kind of throw together. They're 12.5 inches square. So I'm just going to sew these 2 very quickly together at 1/4 inch. Now I'm sewing them so that the seam's offset, right? So you don't have to worry about this. You know, like you don't have to worry about nesting seams or anything. And I'm sewing the bottom of the bag together. Okay. So it's funny what we do for our kids when they get older. We try and help them out wherever we can. And there we go. There we go. Now, I'll pull that out. Okay. So this is what we have now. It's 12.5 by 24.5, right? So, and our batting is the same, so we want to put that on top of the batting. And now we have to cut a piece of this to make our inside, right? So we're just going to open it up, and I'm going to snip this and rip off the selvage because I can get away with doing that. Because we're making it a little oversized. We're making it a little oversized so it will be the same size as a batting, right? Okay, and now we flip it over. I'm trying not to wobble to hit the camera, but I think the camera's too close to my head. Okay, here we go. I'm going to slide this thing down. So the drinks are going to be on the inside of the glass. I'm just going to grab a few pins here out of the bucket I keep throwing them into, just to put them in. Now these are all bright, fun colors. There's nothing here that's, you know, there's a lot of fun things going on in this quilt, and you just lightly pin it. You don't have to go crazy, and we're not doing a bunch of free motion stuff. We're just pinning it in place so we can do a little light quilting on it, and we don't have to get too We don't have to get too crazy about the pinning. Okay. So there. Now with this, okay. So here we are. We're here. Now I'm going to do just and show you the front of the quilting. What I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to reduce my stitches down as low as my machine will go, and I'm going to hold the thread and pull up the thread from the bottom. So they don't want a big thread nest inside the bag. Okay, so now I pull it out of the way, make a couple stitches back and forth, because I'm going to stitch in the ditch all the way around and try and get a little bit of structural support for my little piece here. And give it a turn. Okay, now I can take that and clip that because I made a knotted area there. Put this down. Okay. Now, I'm going to take these pins out too because I don't necessarily want them in the works. Yeah. There. Just light quilting. Just light quilting. That's all we're looking for. Now, instead of going across all to the red to start back at my starting point, I'm going to go up here. So I'm making a spiral. I'm quilting it into a spiral. And that might be the fastest way to quilt this block. Okay. Boy, I should have cut off the excess here. Oh, I will do that. Okay. So, basically you want to give it a good quilting, you know, just not too much. But you can, if you want to practice on this kind of a piece, okay, this is where our quilting starts. So now I'm going to put my needle down and give it a spin. If you want to practice on this kind of thing as a quilt top practice, you can. And because this is where the quilting line, you kind of, okay, so we're just about done here. Hang on. Now I'm going to pale mold cotton thread. So, there. Yeah, it's not over quilted, but every piece now has at least a line of quilting through it or around it, right? Okay. There we go. Now, you can either go back and forth and clip your thread that way, or, and then we'll start on the other side, and I'll do that off camera so you can see what I'm doing. And I will clip this excess off. Okay? Okay. So I finished all the quilting, and I just did stitch in the ditch. I didn't do anything fancy, guys. I will show you in a minute. And now I'm just trimming off the excess. Now, so this doesn't go too long. Now I'm going to flip this over. Now this is my center line. Right now I know you can't see it well, but this is where the blocks meet. Right? So what I want to do is I want to take a 2-inch square, and I'm just going to grab a 2-inch white square here because it'll show up against this. And I want to cut around that because I want to make little box corners, right? And the only way to do that box corner is to cut like, oops, whoa. Let's just line all that up again. There we go. We're going to make box corners like this. Okay, So that you cut out this stuff, right? And I can pick that apart later, but okay, so there. Now, again on the other side, and you're sitting there, oh my gosh, what is that going to make? And okay, yeah, and there we go. So that's what we've done. We've made just little box corners. Now with box corners, you need to have this done. You need to sew up this first. So let's sew this up. Okay, and I'm going to just quickly give it a quick sew, and then I'll show you how we make the box corner. Okay, so I'm lining this side up first as best I can. And I'm lining up this side, and I'm just going to make a little 1/4 inch seam. There we go. Now, with the box corner, all we're going to do now is open it up like this and sew across. Right, that's it. And that'll make that cute little box corner. Now we're just going to move it in just a bit further. There we go. Now we're going to back and forth a few times right on the edge. And you might want to press, kind of finger press this open. There's a lot of bulk right there. So, you know, take your time. Go across it a couple of times. And go right to the end. Go across it. There. So that's how you make a box corner. Now I'm going to do that quickly to the other side. So I have my tote coming together. Hang on. Okay, so these two sides, yep. Line them up. And again, just pull them like this, fold it down, kind of center this a bit, the best you can. Just do the best you can, right? Because this is, you know, I know it's a box corner and everybody's like, oh no, she's doing something hard. No, it's not hard. No, it's not hard. It's hard for me sometimes to do three-dimensional things. You backstitch right at that corner, and you go all the way up to here, the middle, and you go back and forth over that a couple times because that's where it's going to pop. Okay. And now, right to the end, back and forth. There we go. Now, this is going to be unfinished on the inside because it's just basically a prototype shopping bag, right? So I'm going to turn this. So now this is how this is going to stand, right? But we still have some issues with, you know, the edge here, right? So when I turn it like this, you're going to see the box corners, right? You're going to see like we've made a box on the bottom of this, right, with these blocks. Now, at this point, you can do all sorts of things with this, right? You could, you know, just put binding on it and, you know, maybe, you know, do a little box inside, like for a lining, and then just have a little basket made. Or you can continue on and do, you want to do, like I've got 3-inch pieces cut here for the handles. So I want to just trim off the selvage edge. So let me get that, and I gotta figure out a binding now for the rest of it. So I I forgot to cut the binding. Oh no. So I'm going to cut again because I'm not good at three-dimensional. So we're going to cut the binding and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my handles. I got one handle already sewn, but I cut my handles 3 inches, and then I folded it in half, and then I took the raw edges and folded them in. So I'm just going to quickly sew up the handles. Now I also got my binding ready for the top, and I probably brought out too much binding, but that's okay. Now just do a couple of quick stitches, and I sew up the side that's open first. And it doesn't matter how you get this, how you put them together. It's nice that they're easy to put together. They're not like, you're not struggling. I have more issues ironing them than I had. These are with the fabric, right? So they might be a bit too long, you know, but we'll see. We'll see how we do. Because we can always use shorter handles too. And yeah, this is a little bit better handle than the scrawny little hand. Like if you make them 3 inches or wider, you've got a handle. Then you can, you can grab onto it. And I just do across, just like that, and back up the other side, because it's kind of a detail stitching. No, I'm not speeding this up along. This is how fast I can sew these, because I've got a good 1/4 inch. Ooh, I'm out of bobbin. I lost bobbin chicken on top of it all today. Ah! This is how I lose bobbin chicken. I always lose bobbin chicken this way. Oh well, we'll get in here and we'll give it a quick wipe out just with my brush. Hang on, excuse me, as I wipe this out. Yeah, it's all good. There. And then I just pop it in. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. There we go. And bring up my thread. Oh well. You're bound to lose bobbin chicken every once in a while. It's all good. Now I'm just gonna make a back stitch there. And once I get going past the area, I clip off my thread. There. Okay. There we go. There. Now, so what you want to do is you want to see that now this is with the fabric, right? So these are going to be really long on this little bag, right? So you kind of have to, okay, if I divided it in 2 instead of cutting, like with the fabric, just cut it like this, would that be long enough for a little mini tote bag? Yes, it would. It probably would. So I'm only going to use the one. So I'm just going to measure these out relatively close to where we are. That's okay. So now I'm going to take my Teflon scissors and mold that through, and now I'm going to pin these in place. Now when you're pinning these in place, make sure you don't twist the handle so the handles lie flat. That's the big trick, because we're heading to the finish line here. So now if you want, you can line up your handles along this line here, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to lay them out like that. Make sure they're not twisted. So you want to lay them so that they would lay right in the middle of that line, because that would give you some reasonably good, lining up, right? Because I mean, we did follow the block lines. So make sure it's not twisted, and we're just going to go like that. Hold it down. Yes, it's centered. And get another pin in here just to hold it in place. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, except our line is going to be here, right? Because it's a little further up, right? Because we offset them, or it will be here. Okay, here we go. And, alright. There's one. There's the other. These are great for using up blocks, little blocks, these little tote bags. And because it's boxed, it's, you know, it's going to be fairly deep. You know, you've got something there to actually work with. Right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure I got that end clipped good. Okay, so we're going to start our binding, or try to start our binding, just off of this. Now, you can start your binding like here, you know, have it here, and then it'll be on the side of the bag. Now, when you're doing this binding, you have a choice. You can either put the binding on this side and then hand stitch it, or you can start from this side and just sew it down, right? So I think I'm going to start this side, and sew it down, and just sew it down by machine so you can see. So I'll sew one side and then I'll sew the other side. Okay, so get all of this up out of the way. There we go. And I want to be not right there in the middle. I want to be here. Now I'm starting with my handles, right? I'm starting right in the middle of the handles this way. Okay. So we're just going to go back and forth. I want to turn up my stitches quite a bit because you see they're pretty big. I want little stitches, and I don't want to flip that handle either, right? I want it holding it down in place while I'm moving this out of the way. Yeah, okay, now because there's a pin there, I'm going to go very slowly over that pin. Okay, now I've got that pin out. I'll just pull it out. And now I can go back and forth and back and forth. There. So now I've caught that first handle. Now there's another area here where there's going to be a lot of bulk. So you want to make sure you catch that area and you go back and forth over that too. You know, you don't want it, because any thick area is where this is going to get caught, right? Where it's going to pop. So you want to make sure you go over it. Okay, so now we're coming up on yet the other handle. Okay. Yeah. Nice and slow because you're going over a pin. And hand crank if you need to. And you want to go on, reach underneath and pull that pin out. Okay. Now go back and forth. And let's go to the next pin. Okay. I'm losing my foot pedal. Usually I sew it where my foot pedal's up against the wall. I don't have to chase it down. But when we're filming these, it's right in the middle of the room. So, okay, I'm getting up to another pin. Slowly. Okay, now once you're past it, then you can reach underneath. Just reach underneath and grab that pin, pull it. Because you've already got it secured in the right spot where you need to be. Now you're just going to go back and forth. There we go. Oops. There. And now we get to another bulky part. Okay. Okay, now we have one more pin to work with. Work past. And I would prefer to work past it than try to, well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? Okay, and sewing your straps into your binding. The loose straps that are running around is probably not a good idea. And the last pin comes out. There. Now, because you're a little tight on where this comes together, you're going to stop sewing. There. Okay. And you're going to stop sewing, pull it out. Now, we're going to do a very quick little binding on this, because we just don't want to have a lot of stuff going on wrong, right? So, now one side is way too big, you know, like one side's looking like this. So what we can do is we can fold this under, and that gives us our fastest little finish for our project that we can ask for. And then we don't have to sit there and try and figure out how we're going to maneuver this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut off the excess bits, and I'm going to fold over this area here and just give it a little finger press, and then tuck. Oh, I need to be folding over more, because apparently I didn't fold over enough. Okay, so I just want to fold over just a bit, and we're going to just put that in there like so. Nice and neat. Nice and neat. And now we're going to take the whole thing and put it under the needle. Okay. And there we go. There's the binding on the inside. Okay. Now. It's hard not to sew, for me, it's hard not to sew a piece, an extra piece on, like a little, you know, leader ender while I'm doing these. Okay, so there's where our magic little piecing is. So what you want to do is you want to just flip this over, and you want to catch that one right away. So you want to flip it over just like that, and that's how you're going to do this, except you got the wrong foot on it. Let me change feet right away, quick like a bunny. There we go. Now I'm just going to start on one of the straps back here, right? Because the strap, what it'll do is go like this, right? So if you've got this all in the right spot, it'll stay nice. Hang on. So some people find it easier just to sew it down within, you know, on the other side, like hand stitch it down, but I know I'm okay with this. Now we want to sew over these pieces a bit. Just make sure they're secure, right? Now, and there we go. And just keep folding this over. There. And I just catch that edge. And for some reason that edge just keeps wanting to pop up. Okay. Not now. There we go. Oh. There. Ooh, get my fake stiletto out. You can always use your stitch ripper as a stiletto. Okay, now we're past where the hole was. There, now let's keep moving forward. There we go. Now the next bulky part is here, and you want to make sure you've got a good every once in a while there's a lot of bulk here all of a sudden, right? Because you're going through several layers. And there we go. There, nice. Okay. Get to the next spot that we have to think on a little bit. These are just cute little totes though. Okay. 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 There we go. And get that nice and even. There we go. There. And not too much further. It seems like we've been going around and around and around on this, hasn't it? It's like, well, yeah, we have actually. Yeah. And I'm going to go back. There we go. And the last difficult spot is right here where everything matches up. Oops, get all the thread out of the way. And it's better when you rearrange it when the needle is down, and then it doesn't. Okay, now I'm just going to get this out of the way so it doesn't all of a sudden end up being somewhere in a knot. Oh, I missed. You know what? I missed stitching that heavy spot, so I'm going to just quickly go back. There we go. And now we get to our ta-da moment. So here we go. This is our big ta-da moment. This is the block, and that's the bag. Now it's got the box corners, so there's all of a sudden this bag is quite, you know, roomy inside. Now I didn't put another liner in there to finish it off, so it does have, you know, unfinished edges and whatnot, but it's a prototype to see if my daughter likes this idea of making bags for her plant customers, or whether they need to be shorter or what they need. So I thought, well, we'll show you how I'm doing this, and then we'll show her what we're gonna do, or what we can do for her. So what do you think? I hope you like this. This came together a lot more surprisingly quickly than I thought it did. I would do, if I was going to do a bag, like a different tote bag or whatever for grocery shopping or whatever, I would definitely be putting a lining in, and maybe doing more quilting on the batting so that it's a little firmer product. But this was cute. This was a cute, fun idea. You could also just turn this over and stuff your handles inside and use it as a little basket if you wanted to, but that's where we're at. Albert's wanting food, so I guess we've got to go. So until we see each other again, you take care. Right, bye! My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our quilting journey and the YouTube adventure that we're on. We have some wonderful plans for 2023. And it includes a lot more, like with the Facebook group and the rooms feature and sewing and hanging out with people. Those monthly Zoom sew dates are still in the works. We have a lot of fun ideas coming up for 2023, and we hope you share, like, and subscribe with your friends. That little notification button and subscribing to us really helps us out. Commenting helps us out too. So if you like what you're seeing, let us know. Even send us a heart on the comment. That helps so much for us. Okay, you have an absolutely fabulous 2023, and all of our best wishes for you in the future. Okay, take care. Bye.